Welcome back to the English broadcast of the League of Legends Pro League, and we're coming in for our third place match here into Game 3 as well between Invictus Gaming and Rogue Warriors. And Invictus Gaming managed to even us up to 1-on-1 now, and it looked dire in terms of Strace in that Game 1, but kind of got back there in that second game there. So feels good if you're an Invictus Gaming fan.
Yeah, it does. I just want to say, do you guys like action? Because we've got all the action in the LPL. IG is the fastest team to play in the 5 major regions, and they're actually 53% faster than the fastest LCK team in Rocks Tigers. So if you want action, stay tuned.
We even have Infernal Drakes, Clement. We had it all happening in that game.
Caveat though, that's the Shy in the top lane. We have Duke here today, so I don't know if that stat holds.
We had 43 kills.
That's fair. That probably inflated the stat, right? Okay, so coming into this third game now, Rusty, I'm going to head back over to you, and I'm going to say, are you going to be changing your prediction again? Because you did in that second game, so I'll give you another shot on the stage if you want to change it.
I was right the first time when I said 3-1 to IG, Clement. Why would I change my prediction?
You went 3-0.
All right, so we're going back to IG. Got it. Okay, I want to preface this question talking about Doinby here, because in that last game, we saw him on his rise, and we also saw the Righteous Glory being picked up. And now, don't be alarmed. This is just a Doinby thing. He will do this from time to time, just pick up tank items in the mid lane. But the question I want to ask here is, with Doinby, are we going to see him pick up a non-shield champion? So any champion in the world that has a shield, will we see him not pick it up?
So I just want to go through the champions that have shields he's picked, and it's been Karma, Lulu, Sion, Azir, Rise.
We called Galio as a shielder.
Yeah.
He's also got a shield on himself.
So that's 8 champions with shields. I'm sure he plays more, but can't come to mind
right now. I feel like the question is, will he play Cassiopeia?
That is
like, that's the only one that I can think of that he plays that doesn't have a shield. And I think the answer is, yeah, he does actually. He does play Vladimir. I feel like the answer is no, but I want him to, because I want him to control lane against Rookie. And like, Rookie is someone who will play the Cassiopeia and will try and kill him. And there's a chance that if we do go to 5 games, that it could become a contested pick. I would say no, but there is very real chance.
Yeah, I would say no as well.
No, we're just not going to
without the very real chance. Yeah, because we have to talk about Doinby's style. He really is about creating that space for his marksman to deal all the damage. That's why he runs his 0 AP Kassadin build. That's why he runs the Righteous Glory on his Rise. It's all about pushing space for SMLZ. So it makes sense in that context, and if there was a pick, I would say the Cassio with you as well, just because Cassio is another pick that's also there to make space for SMLZ, but the chances are pretty low.
I feel like that's important though. He does go Righteous Glory on Rise every single time. That's not something that's surprising to any of us, so if you are confused watching that at home, that's because he does it all of the time. He has flavors of the month, and he does it with every champion, so he just picks his thing.
He also goes Frozen Gauntlet just to slow people down as well.
On Victor.
When he plays Victor as well. Kassadin, he does it all the time.
Rise too. So.
He does innovative builds, and a lot of this, as you mentioned, he wants to create space, he wants to be tanky, he wants to keep people down, and it's also the premise of like when you're playing a tank, and when a tank gets ahead, a tank always stays ahead until like super late game, and this team of Rogue Warriors don't go there. They don't need to go there, and if they do, SMLZ's got it covered.
Yeah, and I actually want to bounce on this and say that I think this is one of Rogue Warriors' biggest weaknesses, because they always play with a single damage carry. So when it goes to super late game, when the other team has 3 damage threats and they can scale alongside Rogue Warriors, they oftentimes find themselves in trouble. We've seen this against the RNG game where they go Sion, they go tank at the top, and it goes to 40 minutes, and it's like, wait, we just don't have the damage to finish anymore.
Now, to expand on that, Clement, at what point does Rogue Warriors just run out of steam? Being a single dimension composition, when you have like, you're just playing around SMLZ in the bottom lane, you have Doinby in the mid supporting SMLZ in the bottom lane, and you're up against Invictus Gaming, who in game 2 came out of this ballistic missile composition, which was designed to break apart this composition. It's just lights out now for Rogue Warriors.
I would say that it really depends on the enemy composition. So if the enemy, you only have 2 carries, then it doesn't really happen. But if you overload on carries, if you have 3 or you have 4, like IG just ran, then that does become a real problem, because with all that damage coming in, there's going to be some that sticks on that.
There is a way around it though, of course, and that is through the Galio. I think a lot of their composition wouldn't be as strong if the Galio wasn't there to round it out. The Camille can actually die, and there's no combo that knocks up the same area as the arena, and there's a chance that things unfold, and we know that Doinby does actually play that Galio, so that is something that I would be looking towards coming into the third game, is a higher priority place on the Galio in particular, and at the same time removing the Rakan probably once again, It's because of how obnoxious Rakan genuinely is as a champion and should not exist on the Rift right now.
Do you care about the Gangplank at all in the top lane? You're talking about overloading on carries, and I feel like that's probably the only carry we're ever going to see out of Duke in the top lane.
I would worry about it, honestly, because I don't think Mouse at his current state is really going to punish the Gangplank, and it's always going to be there to support the bot lane as well. So I think it's a great champion, and there's a reason why Rogue Warriors banned it in the first game.
I feel like I'm echoing you with like the same thing. Mouse also plays Gangplank, so like, again, instead of they could also pick it for themselves. I think I think what's going to be super cool about this third game is that they'll take things from IG. At least that's what I expect. And the question is, what will they take? And like, is it a Galio? Is it actually a Gangplank instead? And like, where do the priorities shift? Because they can legitimately play all of IG's comp in that second game. That's like, whilst there's a limited champion pool there for Rogue Warriors, they can play those 5.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point because Rogue Warriors, when they were successful, it was because Mouse was on those carries. They had a great win rate with him on Gangplank, 86% throughout most of the season, and they also had him play Vladimir. So when they diversified, I felt like they were a stronger team.
If you're Rogue Warriors, then what are you sacrificing in terms of your bans? If you're just like, okay, we can't let them have the Gangplank, we want to like first pick this one away, or we want to early rotation takeaway picks, then what do you give up?
Oh, so we're looking at Ornn, Olaf, and Talia. Those 3 are pretty much locked in right now for Rogue Warriors, and if they want to ban the Gangplank, it has to be one of those 3. But honestly, for me, I don't want to take any of these away.
I mean, if you're picking the Gangplank, you can get rid of the Ornn as well. Or like, if you want to ban something, I think Ornn is the first that would be removed from those 3 out of all of them. I don't think you ever give Rookie Talia, and I don't think you ever give Ning Olaf, just because of individually how good they are in the champions. And we have seen Ornn lose for IG, and we know that they're not as good with tanks as they are with the carries generally. So if you were to pick anything, and they are pretty cemented with the 3 they have right now, it'd be that.
It seems like we're coming out with Band-Aid solutions right now for Invictus Gaming, and as I've learned from many artists out there, Band-Aids don't fix bullet holes at the end of the day, right? So, like, are you looking for, as IG, just to constantly go for these, like, engage compositions, jump on top of the AD carry over and over and over again, and look for variations on that, or are you still going to try and counter out role by role in Champion Select?
I don't actually think I would define it as a Band-Aid. This is what happens when you're in a best of 5, right? It's not about Band-Aiding things, it's about chopping and changing to suit the course that you're currently on, opposed to fixing problems within that. And I think that's what we have to kind of define it as, more than fixing an issue. It's adapting to the issue at hand, because you actually have the 3 games of buffer.
Yeah, I think the big point about here is IG is going for fast and hard in the early and mid game. They want to be the ones with the initiative in the early and mid, and this is what has made them such a good team. In the early parts of the season, before when they had the Shy, was that they could pop out and carry from every position, and I think they've just righted the ship in the game 2. Like, they're not going to go for the super passive mid again from in game 1 with the Anivia. They're going to go for priority. They're going to go for fights.
It seems like you're heavily behind Invictus Gaming now. Are you...
I made the 3-1. I didn't...
You're committing to the 3-1, right?
That's totally not safe.
Like you're expecting the next 2 games to go easily over to IG, Clement?
I don't think it's going to be easy with their current state. They're still messy, but I think it will go for them eventually.
All right, let's see if it actually turns out in-game. For now, though, we are going to send it over to the casters to get us into that 3rd game.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, and we are just about to do that. First, though, we've got to get through pick and ban.
I will say this first, before you even go on that first though. My first, though, is grill Zach Rusty Pie a little harder. What is this man doing on the desk saying he did a 3-1 to begin with? Hello?
I have no idea.
You're dying.
I'm dying over here. Oh, boy.
I think Zach did that, too. I'm going to hold him
He's
accountable.
killing me with his flip-flop, and that's what it is. I can't handle
100%, 100%.
it. That said, we are in this pick and ban for game 3. We're down to a best of 3 between these 2 teams. My name is Dom. We've got Raz here with me.
You're reintroducing me?
We've got the Varus. Our names popped up.
All right.
I'm just following the graphics.
Okay, I got you.
There we go. That does mean Varus is the first priority from Rogue Warriors, and Trundle will be passed over to IG now. We'll see if they decide to take it.
The immediate takeaway, of course, is that Rogue Warriors have decided that the major point of importance is bottom lane push. Varus means that they're trying to stake their claim here, and they can actually go into second phase with support and get a mage support as well. So Invictus Gaming, going with Tristana, they're saying that, all right, we'll concede, we'll scale from the bottom lane.
Already we can see Invictus Gaming adapting and changing their strategy coming into this next game. But it wasn't the bottom lane that was a huge standout performance from IG that won them that previous game. It was Ning on the Camille. He's not going to get the chance to play it. This game, though, was open as he does. Instead, counterpick away that Trundle. but we'll see if he's able to do that same performance on this different champion. That said, Rogue Warriors, they're going to take some disengage for themselves, or engage. Depends on how you play your Alistairs.
Here's the thing. Camille, go top lane. So the fact that Rogue Warriors have left Camille open again showcases that they have so much respect for rookies Talia. Because in the regular season, in the playoff, most banned champion, they don't want to deal with it because Mouse is not willing to play it. And having a Camille means that you can both dive on towards SMLZ, so it's so much harder to actually protect your AD carry, that is the linchpin of your composition, and also get a split push going that abuses a lot of what Mouse ends up playing for himself. So Invictus game, it can actually just hone in on that, try and get a focus going. That being said, Rogue Warriors have their second chance to get a ban on that.
We'll see what this is going to be, as they've still got some time. We're looking towards Rookie and Duke for the final picks. So often we find ourselves talking about red side Rookie, knowing that he has the ability to counterpick almost every matchup. But he is getting pared down just a little bit with that Talia being taken away. And still we're looking for Duke to sort of round things out themselves. That does mean, though, that Invictus Gaming can limit Flawless.
Yeah, they can limit Flawless. And I want to take a focus on Rogue Warriors because I think a Cassiopeia ban should be something they push for. The fact that Sign is not available here for Rogue Warriors means that you're almost certain that Ryze is going to be mid lane. Because Mouse is not willing to go top lane unless if the Sign is something that gets passed towards Doinby. So now you're saying Ryze is going to be mid lane. We know that Rookie goes towards Orianna and Cassiopeia so frequently. Do we want to go up against that this game?
The timer is running down for Rogue Warriors. If they're looking for a final ban, what is it going to be? Gnar, in fact, leaving Rookie the choice and instead trying to pick Mouse something a little bit safer up top.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I think it's either Rogue Warriors have a plan in mind to put Ryze in the top lane, but knowing that they banned out the Gnar, which is a good matchup for Ryze versus Gnar, means that they're just trying to get Mouse a position to carry, an option to carry. I want to see what they end up doing here.
Rookie, perhaps predicting that Ryze to go mid lane, now takes his infamous Orianna.
It's much safer. It's much safer to pick up the Orianna here because, you know, technically he can still go towards the Anivia as he did in game 1, but the worst case scenario is that you're like, all right, it is a Ryze top lane, and it's something much more devious than another banner of command mid laner that you can go up in the mid lane. So this time around he's picking Orianna, which is a catch-all mid laner, but does very well because of the range advantage versus Ryze.
Does give quite a lot of mobility to Invictus Gaming. It really fills just about anything that they need. Now Duke in the top lane knows he's up against Gangplank. Mouse picked that away from him, and we did see Flawless's final pick on that Sejuani. He's going to opt in to take Vladimir to try and deal with it.
Yeah, he's got his Gimgoon mask on here, going Vladimir top. Means that he knows that he has the opportunity to get a dive in the matchup. Once the Ning does pressure top lane a little bit more heavily, then it's a little easy to play around that. So I want to see what Mouse can do on GP. Clement was right. Desk was right. That Mouse plays GP as well, so leaving it open means that they were comfortable in allowing him to carry. But now that he's in a position to carry, he still has to be a little bit more afraid of his life early on in the game.
Yeah. We'll see how that works out for him. He's currently hovering on Ignite for the Summoner spell. Perhaps going to be taking that Unsealed Spellbook to try and deal with it, but as we load into now what has become a best of 3, Invictus Gaming with their composition find themselves with one of the strongest champions on their entire roster, on the entire lineup. Rookie on his signature Orianna, going up against Doinby on his signature Ryze.
Yeah, you'll look towards Invictus Gaming's composition and say it's great protection for Tristana later on in the game, but one thing you always have to respect is Orianna Ball versus a mid-range composition. Varus, Ryze, not a lot of range. So when you have Orianna Ball placed and when she has 3 to 4 items with Void Staff, that ultimate is so impossible to traverse. It makes these open-ended team fights so difficult for Rogue Warriors. So they either end it early, punish her early, or deal with that late game scaling impact of Tristana and Orianna.
Yeah, and look at the laughter and smiling Rookie bouncing up and down in his seat. Looks completely different than what he did just 2 games ago. At the beginning of this match, there were no smiles on that Invictus Gaming lineup. But now that they've got some wind under their wings, now that they've got their momentum, they could try to turn this series completely around and close it out in a swift 2-0 victory. That said, the fans gave them some energy in that game too. Will they be able to do so once again as we come into game 3 between Rogue Warriors and Invictus Gaming? Still cheering for their fans. The Rogue Warriors fans are getting a little bit louder now. SMLZ adjusted his headset, maybe just to hear the chants, maybe just because it was getting a bit stuffy in there.
Oh, yeah. IG now having the momentum means that Rogue Warriors fan definitely want to push back on that. Make it so it's not just a 5 out of 5, maybe 300 on 5. Got a lot of fans out there.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what that's going to be, though. Summoner spells on your screen. You can see Fleet Footwork for Flawless. As Ning, once again, taking that press the attack.
And here's the thing about Fleet Footwork, of course, keeps you topped up. We always talk about it in the matchup. Has the attack speed of going in precision tree. It's always important to etch out what the Sejuani's mindset is here, just because the matchup versus Trundle is pretty poor. So I want to see what Flawless can do in the early game to just walk around Trundle pressure.
Now we do see a ward on the red buff of Rogue Warriors placed by the bottom lane as Killua actually pins JackeyLove to the wall with an auto attack. Willie to stun and some trade instead. And we did see a leashless start from Ning. So he's not racing over there for the invade as blue buff is finally finished off for Flawless, who still saved his smite for that.
Yeah, level 1 vision is just so important, especially when you have carries in topside. So Ning, knowing that red buff was not started, means that Duke can actually start rather aggressively, knowing that Flawless isn't going to be an instant cheeser and go blue buff topside. That would be ridiculous. So gives Duke a lot of pressure early on to pressure the matchup, and also gives safety for Baolan and JackeyLove to know that they actually have to eat a little bit of pressure, play towards their own tower. So that's what you can do with a level 1 ward. Gives you a lot.
Certainly providing some good knowledge to Invictus Gaming. Not going to provide too many tangible results just yet, as it, like you said, it was buff to buff for that Flawless. Early Scuttle Crab control was the winning factor for Ning in that game too, that allowed him to make his decisions on which lanes to gank. So far it seems like went for a full clear bottom red buff, and now he's going for Scuttle Crab in the river. And he has the support of Rookie just in case Flawless were here. Actually, no. Thinking perhaps of a dive instead.
It would be a little bit too early. Mouse is really healthy here, so it would be a long dive.
Frozen Domain. Ning still trades some damage, and the Ignite. That's the pillar. Teleport completed for Doinby.
Yeah, he had to complete it. Look at this wave.
Rookie is there, like you said. Duke still holding on. Doinby going to turn around and walk away. No summoners burned outside of the Ignite from Duke. Still just trading autos with those abilities. Flawless joins, and Rookie forced to flash the wall to escape. That's going to be a slam. Flawless has red buff, trying to catch up, but water walking is giving Ning so much speed. Flawless can't catch him, and that means he's allowed to get away.
Good call from both of these members. They knew that Doinby was going to be heading for a base just to get his tier. He ends up getting it, but the TP lands. Had he canceled the TP, that would have been a refocus for the dive. And even if Mouse plays safely there and just leaves the entire lane alone, he loses a massive wave with a cannon creep. He doesn't want to lose that much that early. So Rogue Warriors put their foot down in that situation, and they come out ahead.
Yeah, he was able to absorb some experience. You can see he's actually up in experience over Duke right now, getting level 4 before Duke did. Though he is only down about 7 CS and is actually going to use this time to recall and refill his corrupting potion. Recall also going to be completed by Doinby. He was actually able to get his recall before the action top lane, so already has a tier, now has a Dark Seal on top of the refillable for more sustain.
Yeah, and here's the thing, that was just smart from Invictus Gaming, knowing that Doinby he started out with the Mana Crystal, so he was going to get a really early base just so he can come out with the really super early tier to scale up quicker. But that means he's not on the map early, which means that gives Invictus Gaming that opening. They got the opening, they tried for it, but Rogue Warriors also recognized with the counter strategy. Had Rogue Warriors made a single mistake, Mouse would have just died. In fact, in an alternate universe, he probably would have.
Remembering Mouse, the old top laner for EDG, of course. This is his first team since playing, or second team since playing professionally. Now has to go up against Duke, the former world champion, now on Invictus Gaming. Certainly quite the pedigree for these players to be competing against each other.
Yep.
That said, yeah, we're seeing Flawless now on the bottom half of the map, trying to control vision and set up for SMLZ and Killua. Despite all the action on the top half of the map, bottom lane is completely even.
Yeah, now that kind of means that Rogue Warriors can play around their centerpiece in their strategy. Now that top lane isn't so vulnerable, they can try and get as many wards, as many vision in the bottom side of the map to empower SMLZ and Killua.
Impressive rocket jump buffer from JackeyLove to escape some Killua threat down there as Ning. He's actually thinking about the blast cone, but there are wards over the wall that will spot him. Does he still go for it? Jackie Love and Battleland are trying to pull back and look tasty.
It's always a rough decision for a Trundle to try and focus on a gank because he isn't the fastest clearer, and he also doesn't have the best ganks because a lot of it is just on throwing Trundle Pillar and trying to run up to kind of chomp him. So he's poor in all those aspects. He's just really good in skirmishing, so a lot of it is tracking down enemy jungler. So if you're on the Trundle, you want to be farming it out, especially now that he has a bit of more wave clear underneath him with his first item. And just trying to look into where Flawless is and challenge his Raptors. You have a good matchup mid, he should start using it.
A ward placed by Doinby actually spots Ning heading over towards the blue buff. He's placing some wards to the entrance of the river of Flawless, just constantly tracking the Sejuani. Not 100% sure if he can fight here. Doesn't quite know how close to level 6 Flawless is, but he's getting close. And
he has the necessary information. Vladimir's pushing in, and he knows that blue buff hasn't been started yet, but of course it hasn't been picked up. But he knows that Flawless is going to be taking it quickly. So he knows that the Sejuani is top side, and he knows that Vladimir is safe now with a control ward behind him. So IG's early game has been strong thus far in the 6 minutes that's passed.
Enabling Duke to push up in this top lane. He's got himself a CS lead. Blue buff passed over to Doinby as Rookie pushes into the mid lane. So far, it doesn't seem to be so much enabling that bottom lane for Invictus Gaming. It's Duke who's really seeing the benefits of Ning's pressure on this top half of the map. Constant vision.
Yeah, even though this split, Duke has been a tank player, he's historically gone towards carries like Fiora's in the past. So, I mean, ultimately, you have to remember Duke is not just a carry player like some people out there would say.
A tank player, yeah.
Yeah, some people out there. I mean, yeah, he's not just a tank player. He can play carries as well, so this is a good option from him. He's got a good backing from Ning and Rookie, and that's the reason why he has such a substantial CS lead right now.
That said, as a result of that, Doinby's actually opening up a CS lead against Rookie, about 13 CS ahead so far, and SMLZ is getting some CS as well. So the mid and bottom lane could be a point of focus for Rogue Warriors as this match continues. That first dragon is a cloud, so there's not massive incentive to try and focus that bottom lane, though still, it's a valuable dragon to try and take.
Yeah, Rogue Warriors should just be going for towers anyways.
Yeah.
Even though the dragon isn't, it's not the Infernal. If it was Infernal, yeah, they would have moved their focus. But they're going for a gank.
Realm Warp, Rookie with the sidestep, smooth moves, he cleanses, Shockwave flings back in, but doesn't get the chance to flash over the wall. First blood, Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, played as well as he could have, considering the pressure coming through. But the gank lands. It's so hard to get away from level 6 Sejuani and Rise. They might actually take a tower here just because this is a cannon creep.
Flawless with red buff, doing some work along with Doinby. Trying to chuck those spell blasts as much as he can. Ning, it's scary to step up to the wave, especially with your bottom lane pushed in as well. Don't quite know where that Alistar is just yet. And that's just a lot of damage on the turret for now. It's not resulting in any advantage just yet, but it could provide an opportunity for Rogue Warriors to just turn around and gank it again once Sejuani Ultimate's back up.
Yeah, maybe even just go all in on your strategy with how low that turret actually is now. Rise is going to head back to base. Let's look at this just a little bit. Even though Rookie played it as well as he could have, cleansed out of that one, walks towards the wall, was so far away from it, he would have been able to flash it had he had one more second available to him.
Yeah.
But it was just a really well set up gank. So there's no way for him to get out of it.
The game of inches.
Yeah. So close yet so far. So now that tower is so low, Rogue Warriors can change their strategy.
Oh, Ning with red buff, auto attack, mouse heals. Ning is going so deep for this. He gets the kill, teleport started, and Ning just walks away with a free 300 gold under his belt.
Yeah, simple disrespect
Doinby
of
actually
the damage.
completes the teleport and continues to chase. Duke tries to get in there too, but Rookie is spotted on the way, and Doinby decides to let him go.
Yeah, just the simple disrespect here, of course. Mouse didn't think the Trundle was going to follow through. He was wrong. Didn't think Trundle had the damage necessary. He was also wrong.
Dive me. You won't. Oh no, don't actually
please get away from
me.
me. So yeah, he loses flash from that now.
Yeah.
That's going to be really costly.
Too often we hear that in voice comms, especially when playing with Pulse. But he's on the analyst desk right now.
Oh yeah, you're going to be hearing something from him very soon.
Absolutely.
You're going to be taking that one lying down.
Still, the mid wave is being held down by Flawless, trying to make sure that Doinby catches up in CS. That does mean Rookie's able to catch up just a little bit as well. And Vision on this bottom half of the map still in control of Rogue Warriors because Flawless has been down here, because Doinby is able to roam down just a little bit faster than that Orianna, at least this early on. Still, though, Guinsoo's now picked up for SMLZ, a full buy with that recall as Killua holds the wave for him. And yeah, just looking for the cooldown. They've caught Rookie. Ning is right there, but still that's the kill to Rogue Warriors. Ning can't make up his mind on who he wants to follow.
You didn't really have many options being a Trundle here. So it's a good read of a counter gank, but you just have to have it so your Orianna doesn't get caught to begin with. Duke going in.
That's the Shirelias. He just steps forward, presses Q, and then steps out of the turret range. Duke, Mouse is trying to clear this minion wave, but Duke is being an absolute pest. Meanwhile, Baolan and Jackie Love defending the mid-tier 1. This was the strategy you talked about for Rogue Warriors, if they can break down these turrets, but they cannot defend mid and bottom at the same time. Yeah,
Jackie Love and Baolan rotating towards the mid lane was very crucial, or else they would have lost it. Doinb and Killua.
Realm Warp over the wall gets them there so quickly. There's no teleport for Invictus Gaming. Unsealed Spellbook on Duke, but he's busy trying to take the top tier 1, looking for first brick, but is denied the minion wave. And Rogue Warriors take that first brick, split it amongst themselves, and are starting to open up the map.
Yeah, massive lead for Rogue Warriors. In tempo as well, because they could push this wave in like Rise did, fully into the second tower, and then just look to rotate.
Jackie Love is getting damage mid along with Ning and Baolan. Duke waiting for that wave to go in, even denying Mouse. All of that CS. Now mid-tier 1 was taken by IG, which is very important, and they've got that top tier 1.
And if IG wants to hold this lead that they got, the 2 tower for 1 tower lead, they do have to hold their mid lane tower. Even though Jackie Love has no mana under, well, actually maybe he does. Maybe he has mana flow ban. We'll have to see. Yeah, he does have mana flow ban. I hate that bug. I hate that bug. But yeah, if they hold on to their basings right now and hold their mid lane tower, they come out ahead because of that tower trade. But if they do head back, they will lose that tower, and it comes out of a lead because that was the first tower gold going in Rogue Warriors' favor.
Yeah, it's still so low, and you have to imagine it's just a matter of time before that turret goes down. It's when the window of opportunity opens up for Rogue Warriors to take it and get that gold for themselves. Jackie Love is holding the fort right now. There's nobody there to help him out, which means Doinb is able to escort these minions forward. He should have an idea of how low it is, but as long as Jackie Love is planted there, there's not too much that he can do.
Yeah, and this is where Rogue Warriors have to be tried and true what the strategy is, which is push out bottom lane and then move Varus mid lane and try for a pick, because there's going to be at least one person holding that bottom lane wave. It's going to be Orianna. So Jackie Love cannot be under this tower if they send the right members and allocate the mid lane. We'll have to see if Doinb doesn't get picked off, and then Rogue Warriors can actually execute the strategy well.
Strategy looks like it's turned towards that Cloud Dragon. Ning was looking for a gank in the mid lane along with Baolan, but with push mid and bottom, Rogue Warriors can step into the jungle of IG. Pinging actually onto the tier 2. There's no Realm Warp, as they're just going to trade their blue buff over to IG. And instead, Doinb decides to head back to the mid lane.
But this is Rogue Warriors wasting time. When teams don't necessarily find an opening for themselves, they take the blue buff instead and lose that much mid lane pressure. Invictus Gaming have mid lane pressure, have top lane pressure. Orianna using her ulti means that they were able to dissolve all the bottom lane pressure that they had, just because they focused on the blue buff.
But they can't quite dissolve this top lane pressure. Ning and Duke are still just shoving into the turret. Nearly 50 CS ahead for Duke. And though Flawless is trying to catch up, he doesn't toss the Glacial Storm, and IG just walk back.
IG just broke their ankles because of one mistake from Rogue Warriors. They could have just stuck mid and looked for the tower off of Vera's bottom lane push. They can do it now, but this is all a lot of running around from them.
They're still on the hunt. That one misses as Baolan sidesteps. And all of the tension is set to be diffused still, though. Rookie with no shockwave is actually completing a recall right now. Jackie Love is going to have to defend this turret because Rogue Warriors have shown their hand.
Yeah, he ain't here, though, so this might be a free one. Okay, no, never mind. Here we go. A lot of members on top of each other. I don't think they'll be able to take it because this is a cannon minion wave, so they'll have to concede this tower.
Finally, it shudders and breaks, and the gold advantage will fall towards Rogue Warriors. That said, IG got the opportunity to recall and get themselves back on the map. And because of their earlier push on the bottom and mid lane, they've got vision all up in the blue side jungle of IG, so they're safe now to take this Cloud Dragon. IG tried to outmaneuver Rogue Warriors and find themselves paying because of it.
Yeah, they're only down 1k gold, and
a Cloud Dragon.
Exactly, a breath of relief just because the next dragon is going to be Ocean, so they can still play a very slow game and wait on Rogue Warriors to press on these towers. So inner mid lane tower, inner bottom lane tower, outer top lane tower. They should just send their dual lane top side and look to threaten the quickest tower that they can get. That's the easiest one to actually influence. It's a lot of pressure on Rogue Warriors not to mess up here, because it's going to be Invictus Gaming challenging them to do so.
Well, right now, Ning seems to be aware that that could be an opportunity for Rogue Warriors. He's sitting inside of a brush, so he knows that this is happening, and he's got tons of vision on that side of the jungle. Instead of Rogue Warriors actually heading in that direction, they're just going to hold down in that mid lane. Not going to try and open up the map out any more than they need to, take any risks any more than they need to. That said, Duke is still pretty hefty. He's 50 CS ahead of Mouse. He's got his Shirelius finished.
Just wonder how much of a goal lead he has, just because it's Klepto Gangplank as well.
Gangplank, yeah.
So that's always the question in mind. He's able to get himself the Triforce. So he's still eating a pressure. I wonder if he's going to die to this. Shouldn't. There we go.
Bone plating and auto attacks, Raz.
Wonderful.
Mouse is happy to take that trade.
Feels good.
Corrupting Potion and Triforce. Still just clearing out wave after wave. And I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, he absolutely saw Flawless with the ward he placed.
He probably has Time Warp Tonic too, so he's just being able to heal himself so frequently. So it's just a moment in time where Mouse is just eating the pressure, knows that he's not going to die. So all that pressure Ning has been sending top lane just to see if he can find a cheeky pillar for a kill. It hasn't been paying off.
Recall actually means that Mouse is free to push up that top tier wave. And Ning and Duke, they're going to try and head over there and see that try to make something happen. But look at the map. Ning is looking for something, but Rogue Warriors are just constantly tracking.
Thankfully, Rogue Warriors, because of all of that early pressure, resetting the map, Varus is coming through mid lane. He should push out mid and head top lane. Getting a Wit's End for himself, he's going to be able to defend a lot of the damage that Duke and Rookie are pulling out with the AP damage they have.
We also see a second item now finished off for Doinby. Rookie still sitting on only his first 40 CS behind Doinby right now. The super carry for his team starting to step up. But it looks like IG still want to take the fight. Pillar of Ice onto Killua. Shockwave pulls SMLZ back in. He flashes away. Doinby's looking for an opening as Shelly the Herald goes deep for IG, but isn't going to find any kills.
Yeah, she thought that she had a Rogue Warriors jersey on. Definitely don't. Get out of there. Get back in your pit.
Still, though, they're going to try and fight over this. The command attack. Mouse eats some damage as Shelly is continuing to take hits. Balan forced to back away. Duke in the front is topping himself up and still forcing Rogue Warriors to step forward. Can they take this fight?
Yeah, IG recognizing that they have to respect GP zoning. He can actually just send out a barrel or two and make it so they respect his pressure and walk back. So we're going to see who ends up getting the last hit on this Rift Herald, actually.
Level 11 to level 9, a 2-level lead for Ning, but they let it reset back into the pit. It's still at about 9,000 health, but IG have backed away. Rookie completed a recall and is making his way out of base right now. Flawless is still trying to take this. Doinby needs to make up his mind on targets.
They're really healthy if you're Invictus Gaming, and looking at Killua and Flawless's HP, that's going to be difficult for them to stick on this fight.
This is the same spot as the last time. Rookie is finally there. He doesn't quite have his shockwave yet. Command attack for some damage as Ning will use the Subjugate to try and heal up and force Doinby to back off.
Both teams trying to force another one to make a mistake or two. Invictus Gaming baiting for time as Rookie was going to have his ultimate again. And being able to force 2 ultimates in one fight is kind of ridiculous, but they had the ability to do so.
And now IG do the same thing.
Okay, but they still have this Rift Herald, 100%.
Yes. That they do. Finally going to finish it off. No chance of a contest from Rogue Warriors. Mouse is stepping up to get some vision. And we'll see it finally go down. So much love for Rift Herald this game.
It was just IG recognizing that they were the ones taking the damage from that Rift Herald. And it was Flawless and Killua that are being put in such poor positioning because of it. So they tanked a lot of that damage for how long? Tanked a lot of the poke coming through from Rookie and Jackie Love. So at that point in the fight, they recognized if they all in on Rift Herald, IG were going to double down in the team fight. And they didn't have the windows to do so. So they just pieced out.
That did mean that Rookie was able to get his Tier 2 boots, the Sork boots, for magic penetration over the course of that fight. A very valuable buy to, of course, catch up with his team for that extended engage. Meanwhile, recall from Duke as he heads back to base to buy even more items. But Baron is spawning now, and it's 60 seconds for that Ocean Dragon. If you thought the fight over Rift Herald was spicy, Raz, I got something coming up for you.
100%. And it's just a 2K gold lead for Rogue Warriors. And you're already seeing what Rookie can do in these team fights with the range advantage he has. If he gets a crucial shockwave here, it's going to be so difficult for Doinby and SMLZ to position on these fights, so they have to play the initial engage perfectly.
We'll absolutely have to keep an eye on his positioning. He's still down about 60 CS behind Doinby right now, who said that he needed to step up and be the super carry for his team, rise as the champion to make that happen. Seems like he's doing it.
Yeah, and he's in a good bit of a good position because even though I mentioned that Orianna can play well in those team fights, she still needs that Void Staff with how much magic resist is being built up here from Rogue Warriors. So Doinb has that window to super carry. He can do it. Just has to be able to play that well enough in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Take a look at Flawless's build right now. He's actually gone for the Eye of the Mountain. And it hasn't opened just yet, so he hasn't completed the quest, but Vision was a massive factor into Rogue Warriors winning Game 1 and losing Game 2 because they couldn't track Ning. Well, it seems like the change-up this time is to make Flawless help place some wards as well. Can't quite get the Sight Stone, doesn't have the Tracker's Knife, so instead he's going to dogpile with Killua to drop wards on the map.
Yeah, and even after the nerf to that item, it's still decently gold efficient. Used to be, I'd say, the second highest health item in the game next to Warmogs. From 500 got nerfed to 350.
Yeah.
But 350 is still quite a bit for a health stacking champion like Sejuani, so Flawless is going to be providing a lot of vision for his team. When his team has been known as one of the worst in terms of providing vision control of the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
So now just saying we're actually going to be focusing on that quite a bit is nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Adaptation late into playoffs, even though they've been eliminated from finals contention and, of course, MSI contention, they still need to look towards that summer split if this is a team that wants to turn their attention to Worlds even in the future. But Shelly summoned in the bottom lane by Ning. She's going to get a good charge onto the turret. Mouse is able to step up along with Duke and finally finish it off, opening up the map even more as that Herald will finally pay off for Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, opens up the map just a little bit more. Opposite end of the Baron as well, so that just opens up Vladimir's options later on in the game.
That probably feels good for Flawless, stepping up, one hitting every single minion in the wave. Just because the stacks build up while you're in the jungle.
Feels good.
But like you said, opening up the map for Invictus Gaming. Taking a look at the gold, it's dead even between those junglers. Doinb is 2,500 gold ahead of Rookie. Absolutely going to be doing work on this rise as long as he doesn't decide to turn towards the Righteous Glory this time.
And only 200 gold 200. Behind if you're GP, just because he has Klepto. So just taking a look at it, even though the CS is heavily in favor of Duke, this is not looking good just because Mouse is able to eat all that pressure and come out because of the Klepto procs.
Even that, SMLZ is only 200 ahead of Jackie Love. So everything's still right on track for Invictus Gaming if they want to stall this out. Rogue Warriors if they want to stall out that early deficit. They're actually up in gold and will be able to take the top tier 1. IG trying to make a play mid, though.
And here's the thing. Kind of talked about the range deficit. We'll see how that plays out in this fight.
Killua was the target. He turns back in. Headbutt, but is stunned. Chains of Corruption finds Rookie, but he cleanses back out. Cannon Barrage allows Mouse to teleport in. Meanwhile, Duke in the front, joined the fight. Shockwave onto 3. Hemoplague stacked on top. SMLZ backing away. Doinb trying to back away with his own Realm Warp. Killua barely alive, but that still counts. Ning with the Flash Pillar. Heal in order to give movement speed. Command attack. Rookie finds one. Duke flashes, looking for a second, but Flawless walks it off.
Just one hit off of SMLZ. One hit off of Flawless as well. That is so much pressure coming out, and Invictus Gaming knows what this means.
Now, Jackie Love has Flash and Rocket Jump and did not go in there.
Amen.
Perhaps it could be IG trying to bait a second fight here.
Yeah, they definitely want it.
And that's exactly what they're looking for. Mouse is the target. Jackie Love eats the first few hits, but that is a tanky gangplank.
Yeah, they can't go towards the Baron with how much HP they lost here. So defending mid lane wave, pushing and resetting for that position again is something that they're going to try and do.
IG still maneuvering around. They are sacrificing a lot of vision around this Baron. Control ward placed. And Flawless is still in the area, a level ahead of Ning. Sorry, other way around.
And thank God IG had that one ward placed on Baron. Because had that not been warded at all, Rogue Warriors would have just rushed the Baron with the position they were. That was their frame of mind. So now Invictus Gaming understand that. They saw that coming across. And now full focus for the next 10 minutes should just be around Baron. But they know that Rogue Warriors are desperate for it. Sure, they have a gold lead, but knowing that Invictus Gaming are scaling up, they want to end it in one fell swoop.
That said, though, it's looking pretty dangerous for Invictus Gaming. Though we saw the big shockwave from Rookie, he's only sitting on 2 items, and he is 100 CS behind Doinb right now, level 15 to level 13. And we all know how important level 3 shockwave is for Orianna.
That's true. That's true. Even though with the Void Staff, needs more AP underneath him, needs more levels underneath him. So those are questions that we need to look towards, especially with the position Rogue Warriors have. They don't want to necessarily lose it. That being said, I was just going back to the earlier point of range deficits Rogue Warriors have. They still have the GP So they can still play around later on as the game goes on once GP has some crit underneath them, that they can play around barrels a little bit more easily.
Yeah.
So barrel placements as the fights go on are going to be more and more important with the scaling range of JackeyLove and the scaling damage from Rookie.
And that's exactly what IG are trying to rely on. Mouse did go for that Spirit Visage second, so delaying that crit, delaying that damage burst, perhaps looking towards the late game. Didn't see the Gathering Storm from him, though. So seems to have just started working out that way. 2.5 items on JackeyLove to the 3 of SMLZ.
Yeah, the heavy magic resist he's going to is just for the matchup. We'll see if they can get Vladimir.
They're trying to find the burst, and look at that. He's got no summoners. He's going to pop right back up and go down. Flash over the wall, but still dies to JackeyLove's auto. 1 for 1. As Duke and Flawless end up going to the graveyard.
That was going to be the death shot from Rogue Warriors. They thought they were going to be able to get the top laner of Duke and look towards Baron, but you're right. JackeyLove got that auto, and now they don't have a jungler for themselves.
SMLZ now walks the minion wave up to a tier 2. Remember, he's got a lot of damage with those 3 items. Chains of Corruption onto Baolan. Not enough to kill. And with a few turret shots, he has to back away. Piercing Arrow for just a bit more harass, but Doinby's actually stepping really far forward. That's the exhaust, but still he's fine. So close to proccing the concussive blows, but it isn't enough. How is he playing this close to the edge?
I mean, that was just a mistake from him. I understand that he wanted to pressure up a little bit more, but his team
wasn't there.
Basing. Yeah, so they're all heading back. But he was getting a little hypey. So, yeah, poor point for Doinby, but you can see what his mindset is at this point in the game.
Yeah, he's Flame Horizoned Rookie now. As he's just controlling mid, he's controlling bottom. Next dragon is spawning, that's a Cloud, but Baron is still on the map.
And this is his second game in a row where Doinby's done incredibly well for himself early on in the game. 3 kills once again. He wants to make it known that he is the major point on the map, that he is the carry. So even though with the lead that he has now, he's not making the same mistake he had in the previous game of going Righteous Glory, because he respects Invictus Gaming's pressure later on.
Now the Baron has been started by Invictus Gaming. They're going to try and shred through it. They don't have a lot of % health damage, so it might take a while, but Rogue Warriors are already here as 5. They're now picking towards that mid lane. Might try to pull IG out of position.
Turns into a game of chicken. Rogue Warriors are going to push out this mid lane wave, and it's going to be on IG whether they stay to the Baron.
Duke, they're going the target. For it. Remember, he's just got his summoner spells back up. Kilowatt goes in, but eats a knockup. Doinby on the side is doing some damage. It's IG through the funnel. Duke goes low. Shockwave onto 3, but still not enough damage from Rookie. And IG reset their position.
And the fact that it has no damage means that Rogue Warriors are feeling a lot more confident staying around here. They're basing, though, but Flawless sticking around means that IG still have to second guess it, so they're not basing immediately. This actually could play a bit of a mind game. Invictus Gaming staying on the map longer, expecting that Rogue Warriors might be trying to bait. So now they base, but that means Rogue Warriors will be on the map faster.
They're racing forward now. Recall going to be completed from JackeyLove and Rookie. As finally, that's a needlessly large rod and 3 items on that Tristana, so she's starting to get to the point where she is going to hurt. But it's 4 items on Doinby. He just needs a longer engage. Who can he find? Realm Warp, but Ning and Baolan are able to escape.
And that was the play they were trying to utilize with the early basing that they had. They couldn't get it, but you can see that they're trying to find anything, any chunk, any kills. Duke doesn't have much HP, but he's a Vladimir, so it doesn't matter.
Steps up. It's dark. The Chains of Corruption misses, but again, the Pillar of Ice zoning them away. That's a secondary stun. Baolan tries to block, and then Ning will be able to back away with a flash. Kilowatt eats some hits, but JackeyLove still not feeling it quite yet.
And you fight into a trundle, and you never know how much damage is enough.
SMLZ split from his team. JackeyLove is sped up, but it's not enough. And still, it's just constant skirmishing. 30 minutes in, it's hard to believe there have only been 6 kills. Here comes the minion wave, and IG with it.
And look at JackeyLove. At this point, level 13, has the range to start sieging up on this turret. Rogue Warriors want to push them off.
They're playing the cooldown game. Doinby gets pulled in. Duke on the side, keeping Mouse from joining the fight. The minion wave gets cleared out, but here comes IG's just a few seconds before it crashes.
Rogue Warriors should be confident. Top lane wave is massive, and it's going to be piling into this inner tower. So they can actually challenge Invictus Gaming on this turret, knowing that they cannot follow with anything else.
They decide to give it up, though. Finally, the Tier 2 will fall. Invictus Gaming starting to hit some of those breakpoints on Tristana. And now the map is starting to become a little bit more dangerous for Rogue Warriors. It's no longer as free for them to maneuver in the mid lane as it was just a few moments ago.
Exactly. And honestly, at this point, this is when you close your eyes.
Oh, wait a second! Doinby's trying to make something happen, but it's too far and it's too much. He goes down. Perhaps feeling himself a little bit too much there. Killua Leaping away from Duke, but with Doinby dead, that's a lot of gold off the map gone for Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, and if you're Doinby, maybe open up your eyes on that one. So Flawless has to look for a steal on the Baron. He's in position for it. IG are going to have to look for it.
Level 12 to level 13. It's going to be tough because now they've got some damage shredding through its health. Here comes Killua. Cannon Barrage from Mouse as he teleports in. JackeyLove is the target. He leaps away over the wall. It's Flawless. He's looking for the kills. He's found Rookie and Duke in the pit along with Ning. They're the sole survivors as they're doing so much. Baron is so low. Duke is there. JackeyLove dies, and Flawless will finish off the Baron. Doesn't have Smite, but doesn't need it as SMLZ secures it.
And JackeyLove was just looking for a reset. Couldn't get it for himself, so he was just in a poor position at the very end of it. So it all started with Rookie getting completely assassinated. Out of all things, that's Sejuani.
Yeah.
So turned out bad, but at the end of it, Rogue Warriors get themselves the Baron buff.
And now Rogue Warriors are sieging this top tier 2. There's no chance for JackeyLove to defend. The minion wave is sprinting down mid lane for Doinby. He's even got the Realm Warp if he wants to carry the minions even closer under the next turret. But he'll walk it up instead along with Flawless. Still, Rookie's up just about now along with Ning, but their inhibitors are already under siege.
Yeah, 2 inhibitors at the same time, so 2 points of pressure from Rogue Warriors, top lane and mid lane. They push out top, so, oh, wow, okay, get it.
Yeah, Doinby, Realm Warp to escape. Perhaps wasn't quite expecting the home guards.
Brought some of the refugee minions along as well.
Yes. Now the Cloud Dragon is the target for Rogue Warriors. They can't take the inhibitors, well, they might as well take the next best thing on the map. There's still a tier 2 in the bottom lane, and we do now have 4 items for SMLZ. But Doinby is massive. He's 4.5 items, nearly full build. And of course, you contrast that with Rookie, 115 CS down at a mere 2.5 items. We're looking for JackeyLove to do some damage in this fight, but he's only at 3.5 himself.
Take a look at this. Ryze is down in this one, so Flawless comes in not for the steal on Baron, comes in incredibly early to help out in the fight. Rookie was in a poor position, so they end up assassinating him. JackeyLove sees an opening on Mouse, but immediately SMLZ starts walking up along with Killua. That closes the window for JackeyLove. So that's a Baron buff for Rogue Warriors, and as well as the fight.
And now 7-5, JackeyLove, whoa, leaps into a barrel and takes a big hit, but he does push Mouse back. But still, it's a siege from Rogue Warriors. They've got 90 seconds, which is 3 full minion waves. Flawless starting to step forward. He's got the Glacial Storm ready.
But you still have to really respect Invictus Gaming's fighting composition. So 3 kills for JackeyLove. He has himself 2 Static Shiv items, or at least the Static Shiv item and the Rapid Fire Cannon. So 2 Zeal items.
Yeah.
I.e., building up a Blade of or at least the Bloodthirster next. So he's got a really good point to carry for his team. You have to understand your range from him. Mouse felt it when he was in the bottom lane. Felt it in the Baron pit as well, so he knows how much damage JackeyLove is pumping out. So they have to play around that fact.
Doinby's actually completed a recall and is now heading to the top lane and does not have teleport. The constant vision from Rogue Warriors is allowing them to move back and forth between mid and bottom. They just need to juggle their waves correctly if they want them to crash in at the same time. Actually, Flawless is still there, so Rogue Warriors are going to back away, trying to play a 1-1-3, it looked like.
Yeah, this is just weird because they know that Doinby is not going to be there to join. So they're trying to get as much as they can while not pushing their boundaries, but they're technically just pushing their boundaries because whenever they commit to a tower, IG is going to be there to pop them.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit rough. Doinby is there with the team now. He's just prepping the wave. And they have a little bit of the Baron left, so I want to see what they can do with it.
Yeah, it's just constantly back and forth and back and forth. Doinby and Flawless have actually gotten behind IG right now with that Realm Warp. Suddenly that area is a lot less defensible, and the minion wave is still on that turret. Rogue Warriors might finally be able to break down that tier 2. Looks like that's the case.
I think Baron just left them.
Yeah, it did.
Only a few champions, or I think Sejuani still has it for a little bit. But that being said, it's gone. No more pressure from Rogue Warriors. At least get the bottom lane tower, but they couldn't get any more just because Doinby was looking to clear out that top lane wave. So still good enough. I mean, Rogue Warriors had a pretty good lead for themselves now.
They certainly do. 9,000 gold ahead of Invictus Gaming, and it's just looking really tough. Yes, Invictus Gaming have a long-range siege composition, and they're starting to get to that point, but now their only defense on the map is their base. All of their outers and inners have been destroyed, and next dragon is going to be Elder. There are 3 elemental dragons for Rogue Warriors, and Baron is going to be spawning in just a few minutes.
That's the thing. Post 36, there's not really a neutral objective you can just wave off.
Yeah.
You have to respect Elder, especially with the 3 dragons Rogue Warriors have for themselves, so that's only going to be stacking. and they're going to be chasing you down with the 2 clouds. So Rogue Warriors could be incredibly happy taking down these neutral objectives, and it's going to be on Invictus Gaming to feel comfortable. They're going to have to take these team fights, because that's all they're really looking for now.
On the upside, we do have Rabadon's Death Cap finally finished for Rookie, so he's at 3 items now and will be able to do damage. He's level 16 with that upgraded Shockwave. But Rogue Warriors are going to be relentless with their pressing onto the map now. They know that the only safe haven for Invictus Gaming is their base, and they're using it pretty effectively. Jackie Love looking for some chip damage onto Doinby, but that Ryze should be able to heal himself up.
This
just
point,
a bit of time.
If you're Rookie, you need an extra bit of AP on you as well. Sure, the Void Staff is great. If you get something else, Leandri's perhaps, maybe a Ludens, just something so he can stack AP on AP to deal with the magic resist that Rogue Warriors have. Even the health pool that Doinby has for himself, he has quite a bit tankiness-wise, just HP. So the initial damage coming out of Invictus Gaming is going to be a little bit awkward. So if he gets that for himself, then yeah, the ultimate, you're going to have to respect Rookie. But for now, not so much.
For the time being, I think it's taken him about 15 minutes or so to finish off that Rabadon's Death Cap. It's been a very slow build for him, very slow to start off. But he's finally got it. He's finally got some gold under his belt. Just look at how much of a backseat he's actually taking in his team with his build this game. He's now got a single control ward. It's Jackie Love who's receiving a majority of the gold. 100 CS nearly of his mid laner, 86 over Rookie. And he did just finish off that Bloodthirster that you were talking about, Raz. So Tristana is going to do some big damage in this up-and-coming fight. She just needs to survive. Especially
with all of Rogue Warriors going towards magic resist. The fact that Tristana's finished up the main bulk of her build, just moving away from the Lord's Dominix, all that nonsense, you don't need that at this point because you're going to be dealing a lot of damage regardless. So right now, Rogue Warriors, you have to respect Jackie Love's damage. A lot of what Mouse has built for himself, some of it has to be sold. Once he gets his 6th item, the Maw Malmortius is something that he has to sell for something reasonable. I'd say maybe a Phantom Dancer, something that really bulks up his damage for the team fight. Apparently he doesn't do too much versus the Tristana.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he's paying attention to the items of Invictus Gaming because the Baron is spawned in 10 seconds and Elder Dragon in 15. Invictus Gaming are already grouped up around that Baron pit, and both teams know how important they are. Flawless steps up to try and contest the vision, but it's IG who get control of the river first.
Yeah, even though they have control of the river, remember, Rogue Warriors getting the push on mid lane. So they have mid lane control. Invictus Gaming have put themselves in a one-option situation. So they're either on that Baron or they move towards protecting mid lane.
Doinby's actually soloing the Elder Dragon on spawn. Remember, he is massive, 150 CS ahead of Invictus Gaming. And though Rogue Warriors aren't sure that this is happening, Doinby is still able to do so much. They've actually started off the Baron on the opposite side. Teleport from Doinby to get in. He reset the Elder Dragon, and immediately IG back away. Over the wall, Flawless is on the wrong side, and Doinby just destroys Duke's health bar. That's a Realm Warp to try and cut them off, but not one that he wants to take. Jackie Love split from his team, but finally catches up, and the Baron picked up by Rogue Warriors.
Major misstep from Duke, tries to come at a flank. That must have been a call to look for a fight, but they catch him in rotation, burst him immediately.
Mid-tier, in Tier 3, I suppose, the inhibitor turret has already been chunked low. It is destroyed so quickly. Rogue Warriors, with that Shirelias, are able to race across the map, and they're set to finish off this bottom inhibitor turret as well. Even though IG are here, they're grouped, they're ready, they're still a man down, and they cannot fight.
Yeah, that was a lot of proper waves coming in at the same time. Bottom lane wave, mid lane wave. Unlucky for Invictus Gaming because that meant that one mistake costed them so much of the map.
And now the Elder Dragon is the target for Rogue Warriors. Duke, let's see, he's got Flash and Ghost. They're setting up a trap around the wall, but still some preliminary vision left over. Duke racing out of the pit. Unsealed Spellbook changes his Ghost into a Cleanse because he knows the importance of this next fight. This could decide the entire game.
They do a lot of damage at this point. Rogue Warriors could just burst down this Elder Dragon with just Ryze alone, so I want to see if they just double down on it.
Control ward over the wall. Duke needs to join up with his team, but that's just time wasted. Super minions are pushing mid. Super minions are pushing bottom.
That's the key, and top lane wave has been prepped as well. Look at where it's currently at.
Flawless over the wall has found Baolan, and IG are split. Ning on the far side, he's the target. Doinby does some work. Duke finally gets in, but Rookie is completely split from his team. Doinby set to finish off a kill, almost single-handedly. The flash, the shield, the shockwave, it's not enough. Still Duke goes down. Doinby is put on his super carry pants today.
Rogue Warriors could just go for the jugular. Sure, it's just one member down in Duke, but they're going to go for it.
And that's it. They're racing for the base of Invictus Gaming. Realm Warp gets them there faster than the Invictus Gaming lineup. Recall from Ning finally gets him there, but with the team completely spread up, there's no chance that Rogue Warriors can defend this. Killua goes in, he's got CC, he wastes the time of Jackie Love, but the Nexus goes down. Rogue Warriors are on match point.
And it's just that quick. One team fight loss, one member down. It was Duke on the top side of the map near Baron, turns into Baron buff. Turns into 2 inhibitors, and it just put Rogue Warriors in such a comfortable position around Elder Dragon that all they had to do was just bide for time.
It was the intelligent macro-making and decision-making plays of Doinby that enabled Rogue Warriors to maneuver around the map and pull Invictus Gaming apart. Despite strong mechanical plays, things aren't looking good for IG after that Game 3. They tried to take it to late game and scaling, but couldn't even make it that far themselves. And Rogue Warriors going to be feeling good about their win. They are now 1 win away from ending their first split in the LPL in 3rd place.
And it's the best early game team of Invictus Gaming that's really finding problems early games. And when they can't land it, when they can't land those early game leads, they're really faltering. I mean, sure, you can look around Oriana Tristana as a composition, but when you fail in these crucial team fights versus what's a strong team fighting team of Rogue Warriors, then yeah, you're faltering, and now match point in favor of Rogue Warriors.
Now we're going to see how this rest of this series plays out. To break it down, though, let's hear from the analysts.
Thank you so much, guys. And how about that writer chip, for Invictus Gaming. Rogue Warriors taking this 3rd one in 41 minutes. And I mean, honestly, it looked good for most of it for Invictus Gaming. You look at the draft, and we saw another carry come out of Duke. As that actually personally felt very good, because we just haven't seen carries come out of Duke. We were saying this guy's way less versatile than someone like the Shy. Busts out of Vladimir, looks very good in lane.
Yeah, exactly. And we see IG even playing towards him. Like, we actually see Invictus Gaming trying to be their old selves, playing their older style, knowing that their top laner may actually be able to carry for them. And ultimately, of course, didn't happen. But seeing these things to me still warms my heart just that little bit more. Unfortunately, you know, you watch the rest of the game and you start to see some problems arise with communication or decision-making errors that ultimately do cost the game. And a lot of that was Duke's positioning that starts these fights.
Yeah, we do have to touch about, like, going back to the ban picks and talking about, like, the triple carries and stuff like that. This game went on a long time because neither team really had very strong engage. So they would bump into each other and they would kind of just, like, bump off, and it got to this point in really late game where we felt like IG should have the upper hand. They had the range advantage, they had the damage advantage, but the problem is they got split up during these Baron fights. They could never close it down. This was really a situation where whoever got and set up on the Baron first did have an advantage, but they kind of messed that part up.
Are you saying that this composition essentially had too many facets for them to play around? Like a team like this with Duke into the lineup, saying that maybe this is too hard to execute?
So for me, I have to compare this to their game number 2 composition and kind of explain why this may have been harder for them to execute on, right? So in this particular game, they had an extra range. So when they got to later in the game, the Oriana Shockwave should outrange a Varus and a Ryze's damage output, and a Vladimir should be able to get into the face of those 2 members as well. Very simple combo when you think about it like that, but it's not as simple as a Galio. It's not as simple as a Galio Camille that just set an arena and fight within that arena, and I feel like we watched the progression of game number 2 was let's do the most simple thing that we possibly can, which is play a composition that just rams your face at it and it's going to be successful, to let's play a bit more delicately and have Duke be a big part of the combo as well to make it successful. And I think that was where it started to falter.
Because in some areas it did work. And as we take a look at some of these team fights right here, we did see parts of that composition come together when we saw the Duke teleport come down into the mid lane, immediately come out for that engage. Great shockwave, great follow-up as well. Literally an auto attack away from Jackulov getting a pentakill right there. So we saw it come together sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah, and the big difference here is that Rogue Warriors is the one trying to initiate. They get a very good barrel onto the backline and they're thinking thinking about going all in. So that gives IG the chance to use all of their range advantage, all of their damage advantage straight on Rogue Warrior's face. Now, we didn't get the same team fight anywhere close in the remainder of the game, and that's how it kind of just really dragged out. I feel like this was a game where IG needed the superior setup around objectives to really close it out, but they didn't really hammer it home.
Yeah, again, the importance of both of these compositions is that they need someone to come towards them. And I think that's why you have to mention the objectives as well. Baron, once it starts to become a big priority, is the place that you have to look towards. And that was where a lot of the problems lied. And in that last fight, we just saw Rogue Warriors are running towards IG. So it's very easy to hit the shockwaves. And the thing is, like, if Rookie was even, that shockwave might have been more impactful, and that could have actually been kills that we saw come across resets for Jackie Love, and that could have actually been a snowball moment within that game, but Rookie was 0-2. He was completely caught out of position and mapped very well by Flawless and Doinby, and they got ahead from that, and that small detail is a big part of why even in those mid-game fights, they felt confident to take them, and they were strong enough to survive.
Are you saying that instead then Invictus Gaming, because we had not a lot of initiation tools and engage tools in here, basically should have done nothing. Just tried to prolong the game, get to late game when you said this composition was going to be stronger, instead of trying to make those proactive moves?
I think their problem was that they had Vladimir very far ahead, but they weren't able to actually split push with them. They were always bound into the 5v5 scenario, and I give a lot of credit to Doinby and to Flawless right here, just catching him out multiple times and never letting that 5v5, never letting that split push to go.
Yeah, and this is that one big fight where you actually see pretty clutch plays from Flawless as well. He used his smite on the, not the Baron, actually to take down Rookie to try and win themselves the team fights. And it's one of those second moments where IG actually thought they had the ball, they dropped the ball, and it was scattered against them.
But this was particularly important because if Rogue Warriors didn't get this Baron and didn't get that fight, you would say that the composition would just get outscaled and that the game would be over. So this Rogue Warriors are able to get this, and this was, as we said, important, but where they should Rogue Warriors have been able to get that in the first place? Like, should Invictus Gaming just have been defending that Baron and just waiting out the game?
I mean, they probably should have been able to play slowly, but I think there's a limit, a very definite limit, and there's also a cultural style shift here in this region. You can't just play slow. When someone's actively diving and you are behind, you need to utilize the strength somewhere. And I think Clement's right that the Vladimir should have at least been utilized and maintained a point of pressure. And I think where they started to go awry is if the Vladimir groups, and the Gangplank's built full magic resistance anyway, so there's no real kill threat in the 1v1 down there, that they started to team fight. And it wasn't to win a team fight, it was to pressure and control areas, but they got caught out of position trying to have those 5v5s when they were, realistically, they were trying to still be slow.
So what do you do instead then? Because we saw in that second game, we saw a solution. We saw a solution to a problem in game one, which was we can't compete in the same level, in the same way that we have usually as normal Invictus Gaming, but what we can do is exploit Rogue Warriors. We saw a very different composition come out here. So do you go back to that game two, or say we need to look at something else to just hope that the composition comes together through picks and bans?
I actually think a big thing about IG in the recent games is that they really haven't been able to split push with Duke at all. He has been on those carry champions, but the communication, the timing, it's not really there, and you can see that they're much more comfortable with the Shy doing that. So I think Gameplay is fine. I think Gameplay is fine. You get CS lead, Yunar is fine. It has a team fight advantage, but you have to keep in mind that you're looking for a way to finish the team fight and not necessarily use your split push advantage to close out the game.
Okay. Well, we will have Doinby taking the man of the match and the MVP in this third game coming out of Rogue Warriors. So congratulations to Doinby. I mean, this guy really steps up when it counts.
Yeah, Doinby's actually a pretty big performer for the side, and it takes a lot of skill and mentality as well to be a clutch player, and I think that's something that Doinby does often find for himself. Even though he has the unique styles, unique plays, he does have the capabilities to come up big, and this particular game was him and Flawless being huge.
And then we have the fight again. This is where they won it all, going onto the left side against Duke, and Duke's position was very awkward right here. He had to have someone safe in over the wall, and when that didn't happen, one carry down, Doinby instantly teleports everyone to finish the game.
But this is the second time in a row from Duke. This wasn't just a flash in the pan.
No.
We saw it time and time and time again coming out of Duke, and it was just a departure from what we saw in the early game. Out of the laning phase, great. Out of that mid lane fight that we saw earlier, great. But then it just kind of came apart. So I do agree that it seems like the Vladimir isn't working. Maybe go back to other picks that do have that damage, like
Easier
the Gangplank.
team fight picks,
easier to execute for Invictus Gaming, because it doesn't seem like they have the capability with this current roster to move forward. We'll see if that is the case. We are going to take a very short break before we get into that fourth game.